What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ken with the Anchor Reef. We'll be ready to put down our first coat of epoxy so we can seal it, and it will be safe for all corals, fish, and anything I put on top of it. YouTube, I really wasn't gonna put a lot of stickers on here just because I know I'd be recording and, you know, showing y'all, but this is my board. This is my motivation. This is what I use. Hardest part about it, watching paint dry. We have to make sure everything is dry before going to the next step. Otherwise, this will become firewood. Like when I turn the lights on, how all them lights look like they glowing. You got the jewel in there. But this is what it's gonna look like. Like I say, I like stickers. I was gonna do it minimal, but this is my inspiration board. This is what I'm gonna look at most of the time. Y'all will see it, of course, on videos, but this is me. So I went ahead and did what I do. YouTube, your imagination is your limitation. You dig what I'm saying? Only you know how much is too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready to coat, and we will give it 48 hours and we'll coat it again. I actually use this Glaze coat right here, not sponsored by them. It's a 2-part, makes it 1-to-1. For those who aren't techies or technical, that's equal parts. If you ever have a problem, just look at the back. But a few pieces of advice: can't have any air bubbles up under your stickers, otherwise they will lift. This process right here is the last process. If you mess up here, you might as well throw it in the trash. There is no turning back. So first time, you definitely want to practice and experiment. All stages, your ink, your paints, everything, let it dry before you coat it with this stuff here. If for any reason anything gets in it, it hazes, that means that you did not let something dry here. So always, always, always give it the recommended time. If you don't know what it is, if you turn any box around, it'll tell you exactly how long to let it cure. All right? We always use the directions. They help us in many ways. It's probably inside. Yeah, it's inside. But you want to make sure you got your good pouring medium when you put your stickers down. Always make sure that there is no air, because they will lift, get you a little stiff spatula. If you don't have something like this, grab a credit card. Everybody got one of them in their pocket. But YouTube, this right here ain't nothing but some Elmer's glue, watered down, shook up real good. Like I say, use it generously, get it up underneath, get your wet rag, wipe off the excess. But you want to make sure these are stuck. If they're not, they will lift when you go to put this glaze coat. This is embedded in there. It's not moving. It's a jewel. It's put in there. And I even hit it with the epoxy, so I know it's not coming out. But everything else is here. It's about to get wet. And like I say, all these stickers that look like stickers will soon become nothing but words on a board. I wanted to do it this way because I feel like wooden cutting boards, some of the biggest bacteria factories there are. So I definitely want to put some on this because I'm going to have corals and maybe even fish from time to time on top of here. And I know with this this glaze coat, like I say, not sponsored by them, but this is what I use. I've used it on a couple projects and I love it, man. That mirror-like finish, can't beat it. But here it is, YouTube. About to get it done. Still working on the light holder, but that's coming together. Quick tip though, I told you half and half. A little bit goes a long way. As you see, I've only got maybe half the cup filled up on both of these, one part of each. Do not use this plastic cup right here. It will melt once that epoxy starts to heat up, because it actually heats when the chemicals start to interact with each other. I use this one here. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit thicker, kind of like these solo cups, even though it doesn't matter when they separate. But once you put them together, they will begin to heat up. That's how it cures, by heat. YouTube, if you have not seen my fish supplies video, man, that's where I get all my supplies, from the Dollar Tree. You gotta check it out. Measuring cups, brushes, no, they came from the Dollar Tree. Cups, That's the only chemical that didn't come from there. Well, yeah, it is. Got 3 coats on it as we speak. About to do the last little wet sanding and put 1 more on it. But as you see, we got a few little waves. But it is coated. Like I say, this is your final step. If anything gets into this epoxy while you are doing it, you need to be in a dust-free place, somewhere where you can still breathe. Get it done and get out. If not, you will have spots like right there. Piece of dust or something fell. Guess what? It's in there. There's another one right there. But of course, you would never see it as a whole if I didn't point it out. But there it is, you two. 1, maybe 2 more coats, just because I want it to be the way I want it. But this is pour number 4, and I didn't start sanding until after my second pour. The first 2 I kind of raised up to that line here, that bottom line, just to make it a little bit thicker. But these are now just skim coats. So we're going to use this, and I still think that's a lot. You will also need a heat gun, YouTube. I don't know if you can see them, but there's some real fine micro bubbles right there. I mean, it's 102 already. It's like 11 o'clock here in Texas, which I popped most of them, but you see I still got my heat gun. And I got it in the shed somewhere where it's going to be out the way. I mean, it ain't completely dust free. That's why I got some specks in it, but did real light sanding. And we gonna make this pour. Like I say, a little bit goes a long way. You see that's those 2 cups. And this is gonna cover, like I say, I just want to do a skim coat just to start filling in the imperfection. And we're gonna get it right. Believe it or not, I build just about everything. Got that pile right there. See that? My scrap pile. I got another one over here for some bigger pieces. That's how we get it done. I actually came inside to get ready to do a water change, take a break from the whole building. It's like 100 and, I don't know, 104 or something like that outside, so thought I'd give you a little quick overview. Everything kind of stirred up. Not worried about the hair algae in this section right here. I have turned the lights up, so everything is growing at an alarming rate, and that's why I'm trying to get this done. So that little hair algae issue right there, definitely take care of that. Not even worried about it. Can't see it from the top yet because I haven't turned off the pumps, but everybody is growing and happy. This one right here started acting funny a couple days ago, so that's what really initiated the water change. Might end up pulling that out and dropping it in some iodine. This frag right here is just getting stupid. I need to cut it down now. But all of them 2 growing together, I need to move them. So is that Monty sitting on top of it almost. But tank is doing well, just because I haven't showed it in a minute. They all growing, every last piece. Duncan's a little mad. I hit it a little while ago, so he'll wake back up. Very hard to shoot it without the lights getting in the way, but I mean, you get the gist of the idea. I say everything growing. Stop using a couple key ingredients that I've been using, which I am about to put in my GFO. Believe really helps with hair algae. Just the nutrient levels, really. And then not running carbon right now. I'm not running my calc washer. I actually had to cut this one just a second ago. It was growing all up underneath, so took that off. These, like I say back here, they done got to crowding each other. But like I say, I am trying to get this done, to get everybody moved. But if you have not built anything by hand, you know, I mean, it takes time. Like grandma said, it's like watching glue dry. Each step is a process. That sucker gonna be so beautiful when I get it up close. Hey, quick little tip, YouTube. Also be careful where your fish hang out. You see Flip? He loves this little area right here. And if you remember, I had the other hammer coral, the one I had got the bicolor, I had that one sitting right there. But last couple of days it ain't been doing so hot, so I pulled it out, I dipped it, and I moved it. It's in a little bit heavier spot with the flow right now, but seems to be doing all right. It's already coming back out, but we're gonna see what happens right there. But I need to get this tank done so we can get everybody moved. But yeah, just watch your placement of your corals, just where your fish hang out. Of course, next to other aggressive corals. But we finna get us a reef built and get all this stuff moved. YouTube, don't be afraid to write on your board, make marks, little puncture holes where you're gonna put your stuff. This is actually the bottom of what's gonna be the light hood. As soon as we get it all worked out, it's gonna be our last tip, YouTube. It's getting late, I'm about to call it a night. But you see that PVC pipe right there? I was actually gonna use it in these holes that I'm moving my light through. But instead, since it's the same size, it's called rinse and reuse. This to the caulk that I use. And it's much easier to cut. It's a lot more pliable. And yeah, it works. You see how thick this pipe is? So, don't always have to go by something. Just use what you got sometimes. It's already right there in front of you. So we'll finish getting these holes cut and finish working on this top. And just like that, YouTube, both of the holes for the plugs on the lights are done. We used almost half a tube of caulk. Can't do these like that because they're a little bit larger. They actually hold some other lights that's gonna go in here. This tank is going to be lit up. When I tell you I have some new lights in store, yeah, it's going down. Who would ever thunk it? Old caulk tube as reusable. Well, guess it is recyclable, huh? Because we just did that. Now I'll clean them all up and finish doing what I'm doing. So if you want to check to see if your epoxy set up, just keep your container. If for some reason you're in a rush and you're trying to see if whatever you just glued in, like we just did these right now, trying to see if they set up, keep a container. We know that these aren't stuck because I just checked them, but this is very, very, very tacky. It almost holds the container. So according to the instructions, it sets in 5 minutes. That's a lot because it's been about 7. I had a chance to do both of them. But it does work when it comes to gluing something together. They will not ever come out of there. Ever. YouTube, I did this because y'all were never going to believe me. Same stove, my stove. I went today just to prove a point that you can use anything. Went in there looking for some plastic, took this with me. Never go down this aisle, but they just so happen to be on the end, and guess what fits? Oh yeah. So I brought them home, opened up the hose a little bit, and voila. So, never know until you try. And then, not to mention YouTube, it might be cheap, might have came from the Dollar Tree, but you can guarantee these baby bottles are very well made plastic. Have to be. They're for children. This PVC pipe. Well, it's not even PVC pipe. That's the tube from the caulk. So you know it's durable. It's not going anywhere. And then the epoxy I use, these 2 items will probably outlast this wood. But I got a few more panels to put on here and get this together so we can put a reef together. And as always, YouTube, enjoy your reef. But if you close your eyes